The first mention of the area by name comes in the early 8th century and relates to a man, Bermond, and his island next to the River Thames. His island became the site of a church, which lasted until a Viking raid, when they must have destroyed it, as they did across much of England. In the 11th century, an abbey belonging to the Cluniac monastic order was built. The order were a branch of the Benedictine monks. The Cluniacs take their name from a place in eastern France called Cluny, which is famed by an abbey founded in the early 10th century. At this time, the area was an open field outside London, with an abbey much like Westminster Abbey today, with smaller buildings around it. So the old parish church, which still survives, was the equivalent of St Margaret's of Westminster.
Well, it seems to have been founded by someone we call Alwyn Child, who was a city notable. He was probably somebody who'd made his money in the city, just as people do today in the currency markets and so on. And he thought he'd give money to found a monastery.
The monastery itself was founded in the last years of William the Conqueror, and the land in Bermondsey was given to it by William II Rufus. The Cluniacs enjoyed nearly 5 centuries as a thriving monastery until they were dissolved under Henry VIII in the 16th century. However, the foundations still survive today.
What we're looking at is the remains of Bermondsey Abbey, of the Abbey Church. This medieval church, though, isn't just one phase of building. So we're looking at 3 distinct medieval phases of building of a church, which will then be demolished in 1540, or around 1540.
The sites were often handed over to some of Henry VIII's courtiers, and in the case of Bermondsey, much of the land came into the hands of Thomas Pope. And he was the one that appears to have pulled down the abbey and built himself a mansion. It remained as a country house for a few decades. Then, in the 1550s, it went to a slightly grander courtier, the Earl of Sussex.